Hey everyone, it's Zebra here. Today we're going over the Blur Beta power-ups, and I'm making a separate video for those because the racing is a bit too fast-paced for me to do it as I record each race. So I'll explain in detail here why I use each power-up and which ones are my favourite ones and why I like to use them. So we'll begin with Shield. Okay, and I'll put a link to this video in each of my races. Now, Shield is my favourite to use because it protects against all the weapons like bolt, shunt, and barge, but also it's useful for getting through the storms. So if if you're in first place, Shield is a massive help to stop other people slowing you down because you'll get a bombardment of shunts and storms and bolts fired at you from everyone who's behind you. So it's like a must-have for me. If you're in first, pick up a shield and as many of them as you can. Barge is like my second favourite weapon to use because it's got like two uses. I find first of all it's excellent for if you're trying to overtake someone. Barge is fantastic for pulling them behind you, so you can get a nice clean overtake. Or if someone's trying to overtake you, smash on your barge, and you'll show them what's what, and you'll stop them overtaking you. But then again, if you're in first or if you're in second or third, people are firing shunts at you. Barge can actually stop shunt from hitting you if you time it right. So if you look in your rear mirror when you get the indicator that something's coming after you, you'll probably see a massive ball of shunt coming after you. So whack barge as it nears, and if you time it right, you can stop the shunt dead, which is just so useful. So barge, the two uses make it an absolute must for me. Barge and shield, get those on your get those stacked in your power ups, and you're set pretty much. Okay, so as you can probably tell from my first and second power ups, I like to play a really defensive game. And so my third power up that I find a must have for staying in first or getting from third, second into first is Nitro. It's so helpful for catching up. And if you're in first, it is it's the only thing you need to pick up really. If you've got a shield, you've got a barge, you're going to stop people hitting you with shunts. You're going to stop people being able to take you, and so you pick up the odd nos, and you're going to fly ahead. You're going to absolutely broaden the gap between you and the second and third by miles, and you'll finish clean in first. So Nitro is fantastic for picking up if you're in first or second. It's also got a use of slowing you down really well for corners, but I don't use it for that. Then you got a brake. You don't need to use Nitro to slow you down. Okay, so shunt. This isn't particularly useful if you're in first. You can drop it behind you, but I don't really ever hit anyone by doing that. I find shunt is best used if you're in third or even seconds. It is really good for closing the gap between you and first place or second place. It's good at closing the gap between you and the guy in front of you, basically, because it's a homing missile. You fire it and it will track down the guy and slow them down a tiny bit. So if you're in first, don't even bother with this. As I said, take your nitros. But if you're trying to climb through the ranks into first, and you don't really need to play defensively with shield or barge, take a shunt if that's all that's coming towards you, and just let it go. You don't really need to stack this like you would a shield or a barge. Just pick it up and fire it. Okay, so the mine. This isn't one I really pick up all that much. It's got two uses. You can drop it behind you and wait for someone to try to run into it, or you can fire it ahead of you. But if you're going to fire it ahead of you, you might as well try and use shunts. So the mine is best used for dropping behind you, and I find the best way to use it is as soon as you pick it up, hold back and drop it behind you immediately after the power up. So if someone goes to pick up a mine, they'll hopefully run straight into yours. I think that's the best bet for mine. I don't really use it for anything else. Unless you pick it up by accident because it's the only thing left to pick up, then you can just fire it in front of you if someone's close. If there's like a group of people ahead of you, fire the mine into them and you've got a chance of maybe hitting someone else. If you pick it up, just drop it behind you, but there is definitely more useful power-ups you can get. I would make this one a priority. Okay, so bolts. This is another one that I just try and avoid. I find if you're going to fire something ahead of you, you might as well head for a shunt. Again, if someone's already picked up a shunt and bolt is the only thing left, my only suggestion is you wait until someone is very close in front of you or on a very long stretch so you can line up nicely and fire all three off. and hope that they hit. You can fire them behind you, so they can be useful if someone's in a faster car, they come up behind you, you see them in your wing mirror, you can try and align yourself in front of them using the wing mirror and fire them backwards. People probably wouldn't be expecting that, but if you're trying to get a long range hit backwards with the bolt, it just doesn't happen. People, they see it coming and they just turn left a tiny bit and miss it by miles. So I think I don't use bolt much, but if it's the only thing left, or if there's a crowd of people in front of me, it can be fairly good for slowing people down. But don't make it something. Don't go out of your way to get this. So shock. It's kind of can be good, can be bad. This one, if you're in last place or if you're at the back of the racetrack, pick up a shock because it will put it down in front of everyone. So there's not much chance of it getting to you, and there's a good chance of other people running into it, slowing down the front of the pack, so you can try and catch up. But if you're in, first, second, third, or even fourth, I personally just avoid this because you're only going to hinder yourself by putting it down in front of you, especially if you're in first. If you pick up a shock and you let it down, it's just going to hit you. It's just going to affect yourself. So if you're at the back of the pack, this is good. If you're near the front, avoid it. I mean, you could pick it up so other people can't, but then you've only got 3 slots for power-ups. There's no point holding it so someone else can't pick it up, especially as they replenish anyway. So no, just avoid it. So the last power-up is repair, and I feel you won't be picking this up much unless you're really hurt. Then yeah, get one as soon as you can. If you're doing well, get a repair, get your health back because you don't want to get wrecked. But I feel you can, if you've got a bit of damage, or even if you're nearing the end of your health bar, you can probably risk picking up a barge or a shield, and risk soaking up a shunt into a shield, or using a barge to stop a shunt, and protecting yourself through those power ups. But if you're in the red, pick up a repair for sure. If it comes, else you can protect your health bar quite well with shield. So I don't end up picking this one up much. So for the loadout, the one I like to use most is aggressive. This gives you battering ram, where your kit card deals more damage in collisions. Safety net, which is I find very useful because it converts. If you use your shield, it will convert a shunt, a bolt, or a barge into a useful power up, which is mega handy. If someone shunts you or tries to barge you and you've got a shield on, you soak it up and barge them back, or send a shunt back in their direction. And as for bribe, it's kind of useful for the beginning. If you're not trying to level up, bribe is good to have. It'll give you maybe a nitro or a mine or a shunt, or even a barge at the beginning, and it's so useful just getting through that beginning pack if the game puts you in 7th place, say. So that's handy. And when I was leveling up, I used All Rounder because I had battering ram, where again my card deals more damage in collisions. Again, my shield converts power-ups into health, which it's not as good as converting it into a usable power-up, but it saves me picking up repairs, so I can save like another. If I'm coming up to a load of power-ups, it saves me having to pick up a repair, and I can go for a shunt or something. And fan favorite is so handy for just getting through the ranks quite quickly. So yeah, that's the loadout I use. I use aggressive. It's got 3 very good power-ups, or even 3 very good perks, I guess they're called. And I guess the irony is, I use the aggressive loadout, but I use it to play a very defensive game. So what works, got to work with it. So that's my guide to power-ups. I'll explain in each of my individual videos why I use like each car save for each track. Some tracks are good for off-roader cars like the Defender, other tracks are good for fast cars like the M3. So I hope that you found this video useful, and please go to my channel and have a look at my other videos, and you'll see how I put all these power-ups into action. So if you could rate and subscribe and comment, that would be really useful. Every little helps, as Tesco says. And yeah, I'll see you in my other videos if you venture over to watch those.